Okay, sorry, I really want to get going because I feel like I've got a lot of stuff to talk about. Which, by the way, if you have any questions, just put your hands up. I'm more than happy to answer it. Just ask me, I don't mind. My name's Stanley. I'm presenting digital tools. So today I'll talk about a list of tools that I use in class, and some that I don't. Some tools that I learned off from other people's, but I don't normally use it. But I can show you guys and showcase what I do in class with digital or ICT tools. So table of contents. I'm going to first of all talk about me. I'm going to give you guys a little brief rundown on information and communication technology and educations. Then the tools are highlighted, well, not highlighted, they're in bold. Canva, Office Mix, Kahoot and Plickers, OneNote, Education Perfect, and the very last one we're going to play around with is augmented reality. So Quiver, and LM40, LM40, and Erasmus. Now, does any of you guys actually know all these tools?
No.
Okay, that means you guys will get something back, you guys will learn something today. Cool, awesome, fantastic.
This is already uploaded into the workshop.
Yeah, so this is already on Schoology if you want it. Everything, so like for example, the augmented reality, all the PDFs are available in the folders. If you want to have a look at the PowerPoints, already available on Schoology. I did it last night, sorry, so if you're looking for it the day before, it wasn't there.
No.
Yeah. Alright, so a little bit about me. My name is Stanley Chan. I'm a third-year science teacher. I specialize in biology. My background is I graduated with a Master of Science and specializing in microbiology. Things I'm good at or hobbies, I really like to do video editing lately. I'm a big squash player, not necessarily the best, but I do play squash. It's really intense. I like to make PowerPoints, and I like to do anything with ICT. And if you guys want to know a fun fact, my students say I look kind of like Kim Jong-un. Not with this haircut, obviously. It's not a haircut. It's more of a slight. In fact, I'm going to dress up as him for the Halloween this year. I just might need to gain a bit more pounds, eat a bit more food. Or the boy from the movie Up, if you guys have seen it. Russell, I think that's the name. So, whichever one you think I am, that's fine. Just don't go call me Kim. Or actually, another new one. Someone said I look like Sai's uncle or Sai's cousin. So Sai, the Gangnam Style. Yeah. So anyway, nevertheless, so that's about me. We're just going to talk a little bit about my journey with ICT. This is when I was in Buckland Speech Intermediate. If you don't know which one I am, that's that one there, the really skinny one. Not so much now. Trying to lose a bit of. And the very first thing I used at school to try to do my homework is, I don't know if you guys remember, in Carter 97. They have 98 and I think they go up to the other 2000 and then they sort of stopped. I always took a 97 because every time I see a new one, I go like, Mom, I want to buy a new one because they got more information in it. My mom's like, you don't need it, okay? 97 is enough, okay? so I was like, okay, fine, I'll stick with 97. I think I still got a disc somewhere. I didn't say how money to look up. So that's what I started out with in terms of using computers, okay? That's the very first time I used computers. And then obviously, as you get older and boys, you tend to start playing games. So this is a game called Counter-Strike. I don't know if you guys heard of it or not. It's still popular to this day. Like my students will actually ask me if I play Counter-Strike. I'll be like, yes, like a couple of years ago. And in fact, I was so nerdy that we have this thing called LAN party. So what I do is I bring my own computers, I go to my friend's house, we all set it up, we have like sleeping bags and everything like that, and everybody's set up and then play computers together. It's a good time, very good time. And I don't know why I'm blowing bubbles, but I obviously enjoyed it, and then obviously you can see my friends were actually playing the games. And move on as I go to universities, I start using proper, processing apps, okay? So we're going to call it apps now. So Excel, PowerPoints, and Words. One thing I hate the most when I was in university is called EndNotes. I don't know if you guys ever use EndNotes. Yeah. It's a crappy referencing app. Like when I was doing my master thesis, when I think halfway through, when it's like the last second to last day, EndNote just crashed on me, and I lost all my reference. I was just like, no. And then later on, it recovers, and I'm like, okay, sweet, thank you, EndNotes, okay. And also, just want to share with you, when I was in university, a friend of mine hooked me into, again, sorry, I love gaming. It's a game called, it's a golfing game. It's called Panya, it's a golfing game. But I want to be so good at it, I realized that you can actually create an Excel spreadsheet to calculate how to get hole in one. Like, I saw it on the internet, and I go, wow, this guy's amazing. I downloaded Excel, and I go, no, some of the figures he got is wrong. For example, you have to calculate the amount of power, the clubs that you use, the wind speeds, and also how much rotations or how much curve you have to add into your shot. And so that's a whole Excel spreadsheet. And I still remember I stayed up like 3 o'clock in the morning when I was supposed to write my thesis, reading out how to do coding in Excel. Like, if I enter this value, what would this box show me, and things like that. And I mean, yeah, it took me like a good 1 month to learn how to use Excel in like a very deeper level. But I enjoyed it because I just enjoy trying to figure out things out. So that's sort of my journey, and I'm a teacher, and I use a lot of tools in my class, and that's what I'm going to show you guys today. Okay? Any questions? Am I going too fast?
No.
Cool. So ICT educations, I did some research, and really the thing I was asking myself is, why do we want to include ICT in educations? First thing, I think it's just engaging students, and I find joy using ICT, and sometimes it's more of less preparation, so you put everything on ICT, and the students use ICT, and they get on with it, right? But in fact, there's actually a lot of scientific, or actually people written in journals to explain what ICT is. So for example, the use of ICT to transform the present isolated, teacher-centered and text-bound classroom into rich, student-focused, interactive knowledge environment. That's what I found on the internet. Another one that says ICT enhances an experience of collaboration, project work, hands-on activity, and action research, okay? Further on, implementing ICT in schools is the easiest part, but also the curriculum and the pedagogy, institutional readiness, and teacher competency. That's quite important. It is easy to just give your students a netbook, but it's really hard to come up with an idea or implementing your ICT with your teaching styles, or how you teach, or how you actually interact with your students. Everybody can use a netbook, or everybody can use a laptop, but whether they can understand how their laptop's going to benefit their understanding, that's where we're coming from. So we sort of become a facilitator. It's not like computers going to replace us. We as teachers, we're going to actually try to facilitate and make sure the younger generations understand how to use computers in the appropriate way, obviously, but also how do they do their own research, and how do they find out their own answers through the World Wide Web. Advantage using ICT tools in classrooms, so enhance the motivation and creativity when confronted by a new learning environment. Systematic encouragement of collaborative work between individuals and groups. So today there's some apps that you can work together. There's also promote active learning and critical thinking, provide flexibility for students with special needs. Lastly, enhances communication. Obviously, there are also disadvantages, of using ICT. Setting up the devices can be very troublesome, too expensive to afford, and hard for teachers to use with the lack of experience using ICT tools. If I just present you a tool, you will need to be able to research it to identify what you need to do, and that takes time. And some of these tools I actually spent, for one of the two Office Mix, I actually spent a year trying to mastering the Office Mix, and I'll show you my journey in terms of using Office Mix. But there's a lot of tools that actually requires a lot of time, a lot of investments. ICT, Kahoot, for example, is very easy. You can do it in like a couple of minutes, and you get great results. But some other tools, for example, that you need a bit of thinking and a bit of planning, that will take time, and it takes time out of your teaching time, right? So last year, luckily I was second year, I didn't have much, I don't have that as heavy load as the full year teacher, so I was able to use some time to identify what ICT tools I want to use in my class. One tool to rule them all. Personally, I don't believe in one tool to rule them all. I think it is what the tool is best designed for what situations. Every tool is good, but it just depends on how you're going to use it. I don't think that you can say that some company invented this tool and this is a tool that we're going to stick to. I think as a teacher, you need to decide, I like this tool, so I'm going to use it. I like this tool, I'm going to use it. Not like, because this is a tool my school tells me to use it, I'm just going to go for it, okay? And that's what I'm experiencing this year. I think this year I'm more of a trying to experience and see what suits my teaching style. In fact, that's another thing to talk about, okay? So one tool to rule them all, I don't believe it. But if if there's a tool that you always fall to, then that's fine. If that's a tool that you think is useful for your class. Moving on, the SMR models. Have you guys been talking about this week? I suppose. Not much. Okay, so it's a method of saying how ICT tool might impact teaching and learning. Okay, so I just call it SEMA. Okay, the SEMA models help teachers evaluate the usefulness of a tool. So for example, S stands for substitution. So technology acts as a direct tool substitute with no functional change. A good representation when I Googled 2 nights ago was coffee. Just coffee. You can make coffee at home, or you can go to Starbucks and buy coffee. That's a direct substitution. So there's no much change to it. Augmentations. Technology acts as a direct tool substitute with functional improvement. So for example, latte. You add a bit of fluff on top of it. That's a bit more, okay? M for modifying. Technology allows for significant task redesign. So you're actually changing how you actually sort of teach. For example, caramel macchiato, which is even a bit more intense. Personally, don't drink that; it's just way too sweet. But never mind. And redefinitions. Technology allows for the creations of new tasks. And pumpkin spice. I don't know if you guys have tried that, but that is like the top of the whole Starbucks menu, like the most expensive one, and people like to go for it because they're expensive and yummy. And so that's a little analogy for this particular model. Now, a lot of people think that you have to always go to redefinition. Like substitution is bad and redefinition is good. Like it's kind of like a hierarchy system. Like you start with S, you move to A, you move N to R. But it's actually not treated as a hierarchy. Personally, I believe it's not treated as hierarchy. Okay. Sometimes the substitution level of technology implementation can be just as valuable or effective as the redefinition level. Okay. So it's not like you talk to your colleague and go like, what level of SEM are you using? And he's like, oh, substitution. I use redefinition, like an R. Like it's not a hierarchy system, okay? If it suits your need, if it suits your class, if it's effective, it's valuable, then substitution is purely fine. I think that's okay. I don't think people should fall into the misconception of it's a hierarchy. You always want to go up to R to make ICT tools useful in your class, okay? So SEMA does not reflect what good teachings look like, because you guys are already carrying out good teaching. We just want to enhance your teaching by adding a bit of ICT tools into it, okay? Any questions so far? Yes?
Not a question, just something to add. Also, that as you move up from S up to R, you're moving up through higher order thinking skills.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely in terms of thinking, like how you design your task or how you design your task surrounding by that, based on that particular ICT skill. Obviously, you increase your thinking skill. But I just my point, I guess, is that sometimes even substitution is as effective in terms of teaching. But yeah, thank you for that. Any other questions? Awesome. Okay, so this is another diagram. So I thought it was really good. Pedagogy first, technology second. Are my students learning? Can I be more effective? And can I be more efficient? And you go on down that loophole of, what can I change? Or how can I implement this ICT tools better in terms of my class? And I guess in the way that your SEMA model will actually move up as well, start from substitution all the way to redefinitions. All right. Now, the first one we're going to talk about is called Canva. Has anyone used Canva before? Yep. So it's a really good tool. I'll just quickly show you guys what I do with it. So basically, it's an online graphic design platform. It's free access to a wide assortment of design tools, intuitive controls such as drag and drop, add or removing elements. I'll do a little demonstration, and you guys can actually go onto Canva website right now, and if you want to just register yourself, I think you need to either have a Facebook account or a Google Plus account. I think those are the two things that you need. So what I did with Canva was, this is what I did with this year, and I don't know if any of you guys did this course called MindLab by Unitech. Yeah, so they had an assignment or assessment that we need to come up with a digital collaborative assessments for the students, and I thought, why not get the kids to use Canva to design a digital poster about some sort of experiments that we're doing. So this is what I did with my year 9s. So students were asked to carry out experiments and design a poster and group based on the topic state of matter. So they were doing state of matter. The reason I chose Canva is because posters were often used to communicate scientific knowledge, and I'm a science teacher. Most students found that poster making demonstrate time management, task collaboration, and decision making. I want them to have an understanding of how to collaborate with each other on the experiment itself and also on the Canva designing the poster. Lastly, poster designing shows significant improvement and positive impact on students' understanding of mathematics. That's mathematics, but to me, I think for science, it will be quite significant in terms of their critical thinking about the topic states of matter. So after completing the posters, I asked the students a series of questions through Google survey regarding to collaboration and key competency. Because this is a little data I want to collect to see whether they're thinking about, whether they're collaborating, whether they're thinking, whether they're using the key competency during the experiment. Cool. Yeah, cool. So assign a role to each group member. So I actually gave them each role. For myself, I gave them in groups of 4. Project manager, so there's the one that looks, controls the whole group. Math scientist assistants, and the last one is a collector/poster designer. A lot of it doesn't want to be a collector/poster designer, but they ended up giving to someone with that particular role. I normally go talk to the project manager if there's too much noise. Project manager will be the one that's in control of the noise. Math scientist and math scientist assistant just basically carrying out experiments. Now, I asked them to design an A4 poster based on the observations the group made in terms of the experiments. And I'll show you guys what the experiments were, the experiment I gave it to them. And I gave them some rules, so I told them that they need to have a title or a slogan, explain how you carry out experiments, what did you observe in your experiments, relate your observations to the concepts of states of matter, and IC diagrams are welcome. And also, I gave them the options of using Canva or PowerPoint, because I was running short on time. I actually didn't tell them any of them how to use Canva. I just said, here's the website, you go in, and you should be able to figure it out. Some of them prefer PowerPoint, because some of them are already using PowerPoint in their day-to-day life. And then I gave them a grade based on creativity, originality, and understanding of states of matter. So that is basically a tool Canva, a tool I use to incorporate into my teaching. Okay, so I actually didn't do any teaching. I just gave them assignments, and I told them, look, you carry out experiments, here are all the equipment you need. Once you've done, get on with Canva and design a poster and explain to me what is states of matter, or what is the experiment all about. All right? And so Canva or PowerPoint, okay? And we'll talk more about PowerPoint when we come to Office Mix. If you're into PowerPoint, I would say Office Mix will be a great tool for you to use in your day-to-day life. Now, I came up with 4 different assignments. So for example, I also color-coded them. So I actually get them to choose. So I go around the groups and I say, look, you got these colors, which one do you want? They don't know which experiment they're doing, they just pick purely on the color, okay? So there was a dancing raisin where they put raisins in soda water and raisin in normal water. So in soda water, because of the bubble going up, the raisin will dance, kind of like dancing, right? But in the one in the normal water, the raisin will just sit at the bottom because of density. We also did one just with the candle burning. What happens to the candle wax when you heat it up and when you cool it? We did another one about floating ice and floating water, and the very last one, which is about the compressions of the bottle. If it's too hot, if the bottle's hot, you put it into a fridge, it will contract because of the condensations of the molecule, or the reducing movement of the molecule, the particles, okay? So I gave them 4 different assignments, and then they just decide which one they want to do. And before I show you guys the videos of my class, I thought I'll demonstrate you guys how to use Canva. Is it good? Do you guys want me to show you how to use Canva? Or
Yes.
okay, cool. So I'll show you guys really.
Stanley, I just noticed it's not supported on mobile.
Oh, is it support? Not supported. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I read it. It supports on iPad, but yeah, it's not on the mobile. So forgot to mention, this is a digital class. So OL Year 9s are BYOD now, so they all have. Yeah, so sorry about that. Sorry to mention that. But yeah, it's something that's not supported.
Year 9, and we've had network classes for the last 3 years, just in core subjects, and just 2 of the 18 Year 9 classes have been network. But now it's every Year 9.
Cool.
We won't say any more about the junior.
If you want to know about Johnny, you can talk to me. So basically, this is Canva. You can connect through Facebook or Google. So I'm just going to connect through Facebook. I normally do it through. Oh gosh, it needs. Okay, sorry. There we go. Ooh, everything's done. Yeah. If you guys wondering when I made that email, it's 2001, obviously. Yeah.
Crazy duck. You're not there now.
Yeah. No, I made that. I was really proud. I was like, yeah, it's that 2001 because I live in 2001. And my friends like, you should put forever. Like, as in like, yeah. And I was like, oh, that's right. Now, once you get inside, by the way, Canva is sort of like, it's called freemium app. So what it is that some of the features are free, but some other premium features you will need to pay money. But obviously for just designing a poster, None of my kids pay any money. I don't pay any money. I find the free ones are really good. So if I want to design a poster really easily, all I have to go is I can actually choose poster, but in this case I told them I want to make an A4, so I can just print it out for them and I can put it on in my classroom. And once you press it, it will take you to another screen, and it's an untitled design, and basically from here onwards you can design your posters, okay? In terms of layouts, there's already some layout that's already pre-made. For example, you can actually use this if you wanted to, okay? But some of these will cost some money, so I'm just gonna undo that. So all you have to do, for example, to make it look really pretty, all you have to do is, for example, my background, I'm gonna make it like that. For text, in fact, the texting stuff actually looks really cool. So if I grab it, you can see that looks really awesome, and then I can then change the wording of it, okay? So in fact, I'm gonna show you one that I made last night for the SCT. It might save some.
3 a.m.
Yeah. How did you know?
I don't.
How did you know? Okay, so this is the one I made last night, just really quickly. So as you can see, it's actually, I don't know, I find it looks really nice, to be honest. I think it's just better than any of the other tools that I've used so far. And in fact, you can also, under the elements, you can decide what you want to add. So you can add frame, or you can add shapes. The one that might be useful for people will be actually, sorry, I'll just close this off. The frame is chart. So I was looking through this and it's really cool. So you can actually just grab on these onto here, and then you can actually change the label of it. I remember, if I remember correctly, just drag it down a bit. Oh, no, you cannot drag, so I'll just drag it down again. But you can basically design a chart on your Canva, basically. The one I use is the man and boy. So for example, I can choose 50, 50%, and then I can change this as well. And basically, it's a very good graphic designer. It's free. All you have to do is just press on it. If you want to change it, color, I just change the color of it. If I want to delete it, I just delete it. I can even undo if I wanted to. And it's just like your normal like Photoshop or any kind of apps that you use. Once you're done with it, you can just press the file and you can press save. And the minute you finish, what I told the kids to do is to download, and then they download a JPEG and they send it to me through Schoology. So I got all their copies on the Schoology, yes.
Can they, in their groups, share it and work on it together?
That's the disadvantage of Canva. It cannot be, as far as I know, I don't think you can share it. The only thing, yeah, you can share is share your project with someone else. But I guess, yeah, I haven't seen them working like you kind of like Google Doc, you know what I mean? Like, you know, both people working on the same thing. I don't think it's possible, and that's a disadvantage of Canva. So basically what happened is that all the kids will be stuck to one computer and be like, oh, add this, add that. But that's a disadvantage I was going to talk about. But apart from that, to me, I honestly find Canva to be a really good little graphic designer. And a lot of them actually say to me they prefer Canva over PowerPoint, just the ease of use, and also just the amount of, the fonts and everything is already they're pretty good looking, so you don't have to design it in PowerPoint, and PowerPoint can sometimes be quite still, so kind of boring, sorry. So yeah, but basically that is Canva, okay? Any questions regarding the Canva?
So when
Yes.
you save it, does it just go onto there, like you have to download it to make it yours, don't you?
Yeah.
People see, does it just save it on a Canva?
Yeah, so I think as a free user, I think you can save up to how many posters or how many files you can have there. So it saves on to Canva cloud-based websites. So if you log in through Facebook and you press save, it just saves it under your Facebook account under Canva. Yeah, but every time you wanna, you can make it public as well. A lot of people share their workbook publicly, so they can share their graphic design publicly. And Canva is used by some commercial use as well. Some actually commercial-based people actually use Canva professionally. But just for free users, if you just save it, basically just save under your account. The minute you want to share or download, you just press the download and just press image, and then that will just say, ooh, preparing your designs. But yeah, another limitation is obviously it's not available on your mobile phone. So if your kids are all mobile phone based, then it's a bit, it's a bit unfortunate they cannot use it. If you're a school that uses a lot of iPad, for example, every kid uses iPad, then this might be a good, because Canva actually has a Canva app, I believe, for iPad. So it's actually got this full functionality on iPads, and they can use it with their iPads, obviously. Cool. Awesome. Awesome. Now let's move on. Now I thought maybe give you guys some time to create your own posters. Would you guys like to do this, or would you guys like to say, "Yeah, I'm gonna move that"?
We can do that.
Okay.
Oh, they
Just,
want to see your poster.
oh, they want to see my
Excuse
posters.
me.
Okay, that looks like me right now because I'll see what you guys see. All right, never mind. Okay. I thought I'll show you guys a video of what I did with my kids. Sorry, hold on. If I can just turn up the volume a bit, sorry. By the way, I find it really awkward to listen to my own voice, so I might just walk away. No, I'm kidding.
So here is the observation I made with the digital collaborative class I did in year 9. So students were carrying out experiments. They were separated into different groups. I went around and asked them questions to make sure they know what they're doing and able to explain the state of matter theory to me regarding to their experiment. So you can see Hayden try to explain the difference between raisin in soda water and in water. Why in soda water the raisin will flow up. And as you can see here now, they're using Canva to design their posters. Some of them using PowerPoints, but majority of them use Canva to design their posters. And as you can see that with the use of Canva, it's quite easy. They didn't tell them to do anything, they just figure it out themselves. And they were able to design colorful posters for
I'll show
this
you the
particular
poster
digital
soon.
collaborative task. A lot of them working in one computer, so some of them will work together on multiple computers. And as you can see, they quite enjoy using the system or the app to create posters.
Sort of dropping off in here. But that was for my assignment. But what I was saying is that I didn't actually tell them what to do. I actually just showed them the website. They got on and they start figuring out what to do. So that was kind of amazing. And I think that's the ease of use of Canva. That's something that you don't need to tell the kids, and they just get on with it. It's really easy because it's all drag and drop. So if they're familiar with their phones, with like pinch and zoom and all that stuff, this should be really easy for them. Okay.
Was that
yeah.
the first time you had done Canva?
Yeah, that's the first time. I heard about Canva end of last year through Twitter from someone just say Canva, ooh, what is this? And then this year I just thought, hey, why not design this for my lab assessment basically? But I thought it'd be nice to show you guys what I did, and it's really enjoyable, and it's like I said, it's the first time I use, and it seems great. Everybody enjoyed it. However, I'll show you guys some of the poster because some people actually still stick with PowerPoints. Like some of them, they look in the camera and they're like, no, do not know. I want to go with PowerPoint, so I'll show you guys that. So here's the posters, light, ice. It's very simple, this one. I didn't really give high mark, it just basically explain what happens and explain about experiments. There's also the one that designed dancing raisins. They actually pick some photos from the internet and put it down here, and they actually talk about particle theory, which is what I like. Moving on, shrinking bottles, so they came up with their own slogans. This one again, it's really plain energy observation method. I'll show you the ones I thought was really good. This is I think the worst one in terms of the stuff they write down, because they're ones burning candle. They just thought it's so easy. You just candle can kind of solidify without energy or whatever. So this one's not that good. Some people use PowerPoint for this, so 2 groups actually use PowerPoint. I told them that you only could be able to do 1 poster, but they're like, we got so much to talk about, we can just use 1 poster. So I was like, okay, fine. So they stick with PowerPoint, and they use PowerPoint instead. So this group used 4. I thought the best one.
You read PowerPoint on Canva though, don't you? Not like that. There's an option, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I told them either PowerPoint or Canva, but I said only 1 A4 sheet so I can print it out. But then when they gave it to me, I was like, why is it 4 pages? They're like, there's too much to talk about. And I was like, okay. I said, okay, fine. The last one I thought was really good. So this group basically used a lot of different elements in it. So they use light, ice, heavy water. They use different fonts. They talked about their observations. They talked about their method. They talked about the materials. So this one I thought was the best out of all of them in terms of planning and design. However, I still prefer ones like these where they actually have some diagrams, because that's the part I wanted to do. I actually wanted to try and figure out why does this happen. Like, you know, I talked to them about particle theories already, but whether they can link in particle theory to the experiments, that's another thing I want to see whether they can figure out or not.
So
Yes.
did you give them two lots of success criteria? One for a successful poster and one for this is a successful experiment report?
No, I did not. That's a good point, actually. Yeah, I should have done that. Yeah. So, I mean, upon reflections, I mean, I think my instruction wasn't specific enough. Like you said, like CC's criteria. I think I need to see it. Yeah, like be a bit more specific. Because for this case, all I did is like, here's your instructions. Follow it and design a Canva. It wasn't as, you know, like what is CC's criteria number 1, number 2, and things like that. If I do that, I think some of the students will actually, you know, hop on and follow all their CC's criteria. Yes.
But just to answer that, there is a little bit to be said about just freeing up that success criteria and opening it up and seeing what they produce and maybe getting them to reflect on their poster and seeing what they can add to it. Because
Yeah.
if you kind of leave them straight to the answer, they're kind of missing
Yeah.
out.
Or
Yeah.
I just thought, when I just said what I said, why don't they come up with a success criteria first?
Ah,
What makes
yeah.
it a poster?
Yeah.
What makes it an experiment
Yeah.
poster? And then they decide it.
That's a fair call. Yeah. I will take on that suggestion because I'm planning to stick with this for the next next I might do state of matter or maybe for my next topic with it because I feel like they enjoy using the app, but I think I just need to be more, like you said, more specific, or they come up with their own success criteria in terms of what they think they need to do in order to, you know, to get. Yes. Hi.
Sorry, but presumably, like as a science teacher, your learning intentions surely are going to be focused on the science.
Yeah.
I mean, as an English teacher, I might be interested
Yeah.
in the layout and the choice of
Yeah.
font. So surely you're assessing what the science knowledge
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And I
for
mean,
sure.
all
Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying about success criteria.
Yeah.
But I think if you're doing too much, it's the danger for me is cognitive overload for students in terms of
Yeah.
what am I trying to do here? What's
Yeah.
the actual thing? How
Yeah.
do you get excellence with that kind of
Yeah.
showing
I mean,
knowledge
I
in a way
yeah.
that they couldn't do on pen and paper?
Yeah.
But then this could be two excellence because it could be
If you were
the
collaborating
skill
with
of
your
the
English,
poster.
it absolutely could be. Yeah.
But
Um,
this is a task
yes.
or an assessment. This is a task.
Oh, it's just a task. It's not assessment. I just. Yeah.
No, it's
No, but I think you're right in terms of like the actual content. I think as a science teacher, you obviously want to focus on the content itself, and possibly Canva in a way it is sort of distracting the kids and make it look pretty and make it. But in a way,
it's motivating.
yeah, it is motivating. Yeah, and that's why I think that's why I chose Canva. But I think you're right in terms of the content. The content is quite important.
I'm asking questions.
Yeah, yeah. No, I personally think it's
I
for
like
science.
the presentation idea though, because it gives the students a chance to then maybe teach other students, which is then reinforcing their learning. Now,
Yeah.
50% of our learning is done through talking, and then doing a really fancy layout. Yes, it might not be science criteria, perfect cross-curricular English. So what they're doing in science means English.
But it is science criteria, it's nature of science, communicating is a major
Yeah,
strand of
yeah.
that. Yeah, so it's there and across the whole
And
curriculum.
it's wonderful. Love it.
Cool. Thank you.
In terms of digitally, do
Yeah.
they take their own photos?
Uh,
Do they take their own photos, or do they just upload?
Some of because the rollout of BIOD for Howard College was a bit complicated. We actually gave it a selections of devices to take. So some of them do have cameras on the devices. I think some of them find it difficult to try to say if they take photos on their phone, like try to transfer it because some of them try to do it and they're like, how do I transfer to my computer sort of thing? I don't have the right cables or anything like that. So, for example, that group, those two diagrams I removed from Google basically. But I mean, again, I think that's another thing I maybe should add on to it. Maybe take a photo or take a videos of your thing. And in fact, if we have time, I'll show you guys another thing we did with. Have you guys heard of Vine? Vine. So we did another task with Vine. So I might share that at the end. I don't really include it in this presentation, but might be something you guys might want to talk about. But yeah, thanks for the feedbacks and everything. I personally have reflected on this, and I think in terms of success criteria, in terms of is this what I should wanted? I think I want a bit more out of it as a science teacher. But for me, as a first try using Canva, I thought it was quite good. I thought that was really good. But just showing the poster is not going to be good enough for my assessment because parallel assessments apparently need to have some sort of reflections. So I designed a Google survey. You guys know how to design Google surveys? So I don't need to go through it. Alright, so I asked a series of questions and then basically they gave me scales from 1 to 5, strongly disagree to agree. The question I really want to ask is about key competency. Do you think you actually use any of the key competency in this particular a task? Okay, so out of all of them, a lot of them say thinking was the one I used the most, followed by participating. The least was relating to others, which is quite interesting because they work in groups. I was quite interested by that. I don't know why. Moving on, I like to work collaborative with others. So this is a collaborative task. Most of them said yeah, they were really happy. I have a clear understanding of how to carry out this collaborative task. Again, it's around 4 to 5. I have a clear understanding of the goals of this collaborative task, and I learn more working collaborative with others. Mostly stick here. The only ones I have more concern with, so they were quite happy with Canva and PowerPoint. Some were neutral about it, so maybe I need to give another third options in terms of the tools provided. I think it's the responsibility, the shared responsibility. So a lot of them fall into 2, or there's actually a couple of them 2 and 3. So some people obviously think some of their members not actually taking on to the actual task. So I think next time what I need to do is I need to reinforce the whole role position thing. Maybe actually list out what, as whatever role you're in, what is your responsibility, and maybe they need to carry out that. But that is one thing that I didn't observe. And yeah, reflection on my teachings. Oh, sorry, that's another one. And that's the end of Canva, really designing posters. Any thoughts or any, before I move on? Because I'm going to move off this mix. Yes, fine.
Just when you said you didn't know why they did that, maybe some of the questions, why you said why.
Oh yeah, I did, because some of them just like, oh, I said, were there any problems there? You don't list out. And a lot of them just go, no. And then someone's like, no, thank you. So yeah, I don't know, I find my year 9s not very expressive. I need to find a way to make them expressive with their comments. So that is that, and I'm now going to move on to Office Mix, okay? And it's going to be another story, and unfortunately with Office Mix, do you guys all have Office 2013 installed on your computer? No? Okay, so this might just be a little demonstration. You guys might not get the opportunity to try and play around. If you do have 2013, I'll tell you guys what Office Mix is and where to download it, okay? So really quickly, this is back when I was starting my first year teaching. This is the end of my first year teaching. I taught my year 12 biology, and this is the card I received from them. They say, thank you from the year 12s of 2014. They obviously took a lot of photos of me. There's a couple of things that worried me. One is, when did I take these photos? Because some of it was me teaching. And also, how do I put out so many facial expressions? I don't know if you guys can see it, but I guess I'm quite expressive through my face. And lastly is, why am I always talking? So to this class, I'm always talking. Out of all those diagrams, a lot of photos of me were talking. I do a lot of talking with my year 12s because I feel like if I don't tell them what is biology or what is cells or what's genetics, they're not going to get it. That's my first year's thinking, right? I'm just like, I have a master's degree. I know so much about cells. I need to tell you everything about it, and you're going to take on board, and you're going to do well in your NCAs. And that's why I do a lot of talking. But I realize I do a lot of lecturing styles, right? So I want to change that. So what I want to do is, upon my reflection on teaching, I want to reduce the teaching time. I want to change the teacher-centric to student-centric, because that's what I was doing with my year 12. Most of the time was me talking, and then they just listen and then write it down. Even though none of them really complaints, but I don't know whether some of it just goes in one year and goes out the other year, okay? I also want to minimize my energy expenditure. Janice was here. If Janice is still here, she'll tell you that I put a lot of energy in my classes, and one of the comments she wrote for my observation was that, how am I going to cope when I have a full loads of teaching timetables? Because I always go in the class, go, yeah, we're going to do it, and students get excited, but like I said to everybody in my department, when I go home, I take a nap, and I wake up as 11, and then I work my way till 4 a.m. in the morning, and I go for a little sleep, and I wake up at 7, and I continue work. That's what's my days of works in the first year, because just like so tired when I go home, and then just yeah. Oh, side stories. I don't know. It's just I think I'm not saying. I feel like I'm getting to an age where, do you guys sometimes watch a movie and then when you wake up, the movie ended?
Yeah.
Is that a sign of like? I don't know, because I put like a lot of YouTube clips that like in one playlist, and when I wake up, the YouTube stopped, and I'm just like, oh, I just passed out. Anyway, so yeah, that's it. So there's a little diagram. Never in my life have I spoken in front of such a thoughtless audience. Keep up the good work. So I don't want to stop the lecturing, right? And so what I want to do is, the main goal is I want to find a way to minimize lecturing, but also deliver teaching content in a fun and dynamic way. And this is introductions to Office Mix, okay? So Office Mix is a free add-on for Microsoft PowerPoint 2013 and onwards. You have 2016, great, but it does not work with 2010, unfortunately. It also allows educators to easily create and share interactive videos through the clouds. The add-ons enable users to add voice, videos, and digital ink to existing PowerPoints and presentations and convert it into videos. So if you already have a PowerPoint that you use with your kids, as long as you add Office Mix to it, you can actually add voice or add inks, or you can actually add videos to your videos, okay, or to your PowerPoints, okay. So it doesn't have to be a brand new PowerPoint. Anything from the old, if you made one 3 years or 4 years ago, as long as you have Office Mix as an add-on to your PowerPoint, you can add all these to that existing PowerPoints, okay? And that's the really cool thing about it. It also allows users to include interactive quizzes, polls, and apps, okay? So that is called Office Mix. I'll do a little rundown of how to install it and how does it work. But basically that is a tool that I've been using for the last 1 year. The whole year basically. I started from the beginning to all the way to the end, trying to make as many videos through my existing PowerPoints, okay? So, how do you deliver video? So, you obviously make a video from Office Mix. How do you deliver it? So, there's 2 ways I found out. One is called Flip Classroom Strategy. Have you guys heard of Flip Classroom? Personally, I think there's a lot of cons to Flip Classroom. I'll talk about that later. But basically what it is the students gain necessary teaching content before class through prep videos, increased opportunity for teacher-student interactions in the class, collaboration with other students, and applying key concepts with feedbacks. Students are able to ask relevant questions that are associated with their learnings from the videos. But one of the disadvantages I think for flipped classroom is that if the students have 5 classes and all the teachers use flipped classroom, how many videos will they be watching? And also how long will that, how long do you need to make a video in order for the student not to be bored? This is one of the feedback I got from my Office Mix, but the very first video I made was 8 minutes. Students said they only watched 3 minutes and they lost their interest. And they're like, it's way too long. And I was like, that's fair enough, because even if I watch a YouTube clip, if it's 3 minutes, that's enough. I'm just gonna go skip. Unless the content interests me and then I'll watch longer, right? So, but that's the thing. If you have five subjects in a day and all 5 teachers ask you to watch a 3-minute video, that's quite it's only a little bit of time, but for the students, they're like, oh, I'm gonna watch videos again. So that's Flip Classroom. That's one of the strategies to deliver videos. The other way I tend to like to do it is called blended classroom strategy. So it's a mix of digital and in-person learning experience. So I will actually play some of the videos in class, probably not the whole thing, but just use it maybe as a starting point as my lessons, and I'll continue talking for a bit and maybe just get on into an experiment straight away. So less of me actually talking about it and using the video to provide them the background information for the activities or the lessons, okay? So there's a flipped classrooms and blended classroom strategy to deliver Office Mix, okay? Any question? Good. Okay, cool. So requirements for Office Mix. You need an Office 2013, you need an Office Mix add-on, it's a free, and you also need a microphone. Normally a standard microphone, so I got 2 laptops here. This one is the Surface Pro from Microsoft. They all built in with a microphone, even the MacBook has microphone. But if you do want good quality, so when I made my very first videos, I gave it to my mentor, Steve Martin. I don't know if you guys heard of Steve Martin. He says that I sound really feminine. And yeah, he gave me two feedbacks. He says, 1, you sound really feminine. 2nd, I can see your bed sheet, because I actually record videos. I record myself by my room, and then he's like, is it Winnie the Pooh for your bed sheet? And I'm like, no, it's flowers. And he's like, oh. So 2 things I invested. You can invest on one of these, which I'm recording right now. It's called a Blue microphone. Well, it's a USB microphone, and these are used by podcasters and YouTubers. They receive really good sounds, but they're quite expensive. They're about $300 a minute. I purchased it from Amazon's. The other one is I also bought, depending on where you record it. So I'm just going to tighten it up. If you record it in your room and you don't want anyone to see anything behind you, you will need to get backdrops. I got it from training, that's about $100, so there's like a white backdrops, and also potentially optional webcam. Okay, so if you want to show yourself, webcam is obviously the way to go. These computers tend to come with webcam now these days. The other one I also invested, but it's not here, it's called a touchscreen with stylus. So if you don't have a computer with a pen that comes with it, you can't do annotations on Office Mix or your PowerPoint, okay? The only other way you can do it is you have to get one of those Wacom touch, like kind of like for designer type of thing. But those will help you to solve the problem of actually doing some annotation, because it's really good using Office Mix to do annotations, okay?
Stan,
Yes?
can you type text onto it?
Ooh, that's a good question. I need to, the Office Mix is updated recently. Before I think you can't, but maybe now you can, so I'll just double check that, okay? But yeah, if you do have like a Surface or something like this has basically got everything you need. It has the webcam, it has the voice recorder, microphone, it also has a pen. And the digital stylus for Microsoft is actually really good because they tend to want to go for designing to do writing on top of it, especially for students, right, and for annotation purposes. Now, in terms of demonstration, I'll show you guys what Office Mix is. If you've got any questions, just hands up and I can go around and help you out. Yeah.
Sorry, I just have a quick question. I just tried to get the add-in. I'm on Office on a Mac and I can't seem to get the add-in.
Yes, that is the problems. It does not support Mac, unfortunately. At the moment, it's only for. In fact, it's still in the beta mode, like it's a beta stage. It has been for the past 3 years. They've been updating a lot of times, but at the moment, it's still not available. I think on Mac, for examples, and that is one of the problems because I have Mac here, if you can see, but I'm running Windows because I literally bought another copy of Windows so I can use Office Mix, and it is, unfortunately something that Microsoft needs to solve, but I don't know whether they're going to do it or not. But yeah, I'll just quickly show it. Office Mix.
I'm not leaving. Just
Okay.
need to go to the bathroom.
That's okay. That's okay. It's alright. So Office Mix, if you type in Office Mix in Google, it's basically called mix.office.com. You click onto it and then it says get interactive. It tells you what it does, and oh god. I need to actually disable this whole Schoology thing because I've been getting a lot of notification on Schoology regarding to. But anyway, so it says get Office Mix. You click onto it, and then it will say you have to sign into one of the accounts. If you have like a Hotmail or Outlook, you can just go through that. If you want to sign through Facebook, that's fine. So whichever one you want to sign into, just click on it, and then you should be able to sign in. And I'm not going to sign in now, but once you sign in, you should be able to download one of these files for Office Mix. So it should look, sorry, just open the wrong thing.
Should we be going to Office Mix for teachers?
Which one, sorry?
It says, Office Mix for teachers. Is that what the option?
Yeah, I think, that's the one. I'll just log in here and I'll show you really quickly, doesn't show my password, right? Okay, cool, see, hey. So it continues, and so once you sign in, it should just say Office Mix Setup. And then you just save it, and once you're done, you just press it and it will install. You might need to turn off PowerPoint for a minute, and once you're finishing installing it, you will see something called Mix tab on top of it like that, okay? So the Mix tab is really interesting, so there's a lot of things you can do with it. We'll go through one by one really quickly. The very first one is called slide recording. So if I click slide recording, it will take me to this other screen, and it will say, so for example, I'm going to go to one of the slides. Not that one. Yeah, there we go. So you can decide whether you want to have a camera. So for example, I want to have a FaceTime camera. I just enable that. So that means when I press the record, it will record what I'm doing, like in the front of the camera, right? It also just tells you which camera you want to choose, microphone you want to choose on, and also there's the inking stage. I think it's still not able to add text onto it, but what you can do is you can do a little animation type of thing. So for example, you can actually go to next animation. So if you have all the text written up and you just add animations to each sections, then you can actually, as you talk about it, you can enable the animation. So I'll show you guys really quickly how it works. So there's inking, so you can decide what color you want to use. If you have a stylus, you obviously can just type it out the minute you record, right? So if I want to record, I will press either F9, so it's a cut key for F9, or I just press the button up there, and it will show you this little red icon, this little red dash line running around, okay? So this currently is recording. If I want to show my next animation, I just click my next animation, and it will show up, and that will be recorded as well with my voice. And I'll show next animation, I'll show next animation. If I want to do some annotation, so for example, I want to say students, this is quite important, I'm going to highlight it. Okay, I just completely rubbed it up. Just got rid of that. Yeah, so you can actually choose the thickness as well. So that is the thinness, and that is the second thickest, and then the one unfortunately I selected was the thickest there, okay? So you can do annotation to it. It is really hard on a trackpad at the moment, but if you have some sort of touchscreen like stylus enabled device, or like I see if you have a Wacom designer program thing, that will be fine, right? The other good thing is, I'll just stop that right here for now, and then it will say save recording, and your video will just appear on the top of it there, okay? So I can actually preview it if I want, so I can press the preview slide recording, and then you can see, you can hear my voice, and it will basically go through the PowerPoint, okay? And yeah, so see the animation will pop up,
And that will be recorded as well.
yeah, okay? And now, if you want to change where your video is, so for example, if I close this, I can actually move this around. I can actually move this some of the way places. And also, I forgot to mention another cool little tool. You know, underneath there's add notes. You can add your scripts. So scene 2 or something, scene 1, and you can type in anything. And when you go to slide recording, it will automatically shows up on the top there. So when you record it, you can face the camera while reading what you want to say. So if you want to actually know what you want to say, you just look at that and go like, this is what I'm going to say, and things like that. Now they also added a new function called edit slide recording. So you can actually trim it. So if there's something that's really bad in front or the back, you can trim it. Before you cannot do the trimming. Before you can only do delete slide recordings and delete all recordings, okay? So before the trimming, I did a lot of repeats. So for example, if I marked up one thing, I have to actually delete that recording and restart it again. Now with the trimming recording thing, you can actually decide what part you want to keep. Obviously, I think it only keeps the front. You only can trim the front and the back. It's not like, I want this, I want this, I want.
Into the middle.
Yeah, I don't think you can. That's the thing. But as far as I know, you cannot. So it's slightly, not as good as other schools that you can just insert through the middle. But it is there for you. Normally, what I still do now is that if I mucked up a recording, I'll just delete it and I'll redo it again because it just it's easier for me to redo the whole thing again.
Is that the same with the audio as well?
Yeah, if you delete recording, that will be the audios and the videos and also the whatever animations you've done. The animation will be there, is the annotations will obviously be removed as well. But that is the basics of Office Mix. There's obviously more to it. You can add quiz videos or app. So if I click onto that, I can just so for example, I want to do a multiple choice question. So at the end of my PowerPoint that I want to show them, I want to add a multiple choice questions. And it needs update, I don't know why. But basically it's kind of like just other like Quizlets or any other app generating things. All you have to do is, I'll just drag it down so you guys can have a look. So I can insert my questions and I can choose which answer is right. So if you prepare an Office Mix and you wanted to read a particular, follow a couple of slides and you want to understand your knowledge, all they have to do is do the quiz and then you will be able to get feedbacks from your students as well. One thing you need to know is that your student needs to log on to Office as well. So if your school is a Microsoft school, they should be already on. But if it's not, a lot of times when they finish the quiz, they will when you see the result, it might just say, "Oh, it's done by guest." So that's one of the problems. So if all your students didn't log on to Office, then they just all show up as guests. So you don't know who did which quiz and things like that. Okay. That's one of the problems with the quiz. But you can definitely set quizzes if you want. If I can delete that. There's also other stuff. So you can do screen recording. So I do a lot of screen recording when I do ICT tips and tricks for my school. So all you have to do is you can drag a screen, So I'm going to drag here, and I want to record that portions of the videos, okay? And you can enable or disable videos if you want, and you press record, and it'll tell you 3, 2, 1, and it start recording. So if you want to show something on a computer to your colleagues, or you want to make a videos about how to access Kahoots or anything like that, you can actually do the whole recording of how you actually access Kahoot on this, save it as a PowerPoint or the mix, and give it to your colleagues, and your colleague can view it, okay? So if I press stop here now, you can see that I select it, the stuff I selected is already there, and then I obviously recorded my audios to it.
Can you select with the webcam on like a normal screencast? You don't have to, because you can just put the video on the PowerPoint anyway.
Yeah, I think that was one of the questions last year when I went to BioLight conference. One of this person asked me. I'm not sure whether the update changes now, but you were not able to record your slides if you have a video in it. Yeah, that's the experience I had last year, because if I sorry, because if you do that, it'll just crash. And that's one of the suggestions I gave to of the PowerPoint team, but they haven't replied back to me. So, yeah. The only other way I could think of is that if you make the animation as a GIF file. Do you guys know what GIF is? So it's like so I actually have another tool that you can make a GIF file. So I actually show the whole GIF animation while I'm talking. So I can talk to that GIF animation, and that's one way to do it. But if you have a proper, like a video, like the screen, the slide recording thing on top of this video, it will just crash, unfortunately. Yeah, that's another downside to Office Mix. I'm going to quickly delete that. Oh, by the way, screen recording. It's also good if you want to retrieve a videos that you cannot download. So YouTube, for example, you can actually just play on it, and then just the only disadvantage of that is that you have to let the slide play through. So if you have so I'll show you if I can just get rid of this. There we go. So if I have YouTube on, and I'll just select.
Click on one of yours.
Click on one of mine. Okay, sure. I can show you guys.
YouTube channel.
Okay. I'll show, hold on.
Of course,
YouTube channel. Sorry. Okay, I'll show you my one. Oh, hold on. Forgot my password. I was going to show it at the end, but okay, since we're here. So I have two channels I have called ICT Chan and Science Chan. Science Chan is still under the construction because that's for my videos for my kids. ICT Chan, basically what I do is I create Office Mix for my departments, okay, or for my school. So if I look in my channel, and if I go down here, you can see some of the PDs I have taken out. So for example, introduction to Kahoots or sign into Office Mix. All these, all the ones in blue, these are made from Office Mix. So as you can see, this is the video of what I created. If it loads, hopefully.
Hey guys, in this episode of ICT Tips and Tricks.
Yeah, so this is all done in Office Mix.
Section from OneNote.
Yeah,
hey guys,
and then so I jump into screen recording, so that was one of my slides. Now, what I was saying, if you want to record this video, all you have to do is go screen recording, and then go select area, and then select this area, right? And then the minute you press record, just make sure you press the start button. And then that will record everything. But the only problem is that if the video is too long, you have to let it run for a while. So but that's just one way of recording a video out of it. And you can actually annotate through the videos as well. So it will actually pick up that voice and my voice at the same time. Cool. And I'll just stop that. There we go. And so if I play that again. And then that will record everything. Yeah. But the only problem is that if the video is too long. Yeah. So if there's like a video that you actually want to show your kids, and then you want to actually, you want to talk about that video, that's one way to do it as well. The other things you can do is obviously you can take screenshot as well. You can insert videos, insert audios. You can preview it before you upload it, and then you can then upload to Office Mix. So Office Mix, again, it's kind of like Microsoft tried to take over the YouTube. There's like their little cloud-based storage for YouTube. So if you made a mix, you can upload to Office Mix. You can actually see other people's mixes as well. The other way I like to tend to do is I like to export to videos, because I like to use my YouTube channels, right? And if you want to export it, all you have to do is decide what versions, what kind of videos you want. I normally go full HD, and it will just go through the whole process, and you will get an MP4 file at the end of it, at the end of the recording. All right. Now, if you recorded and you found you made a mistake, this is what you can actually do. You can actually go back to the slide, change your mistake, for example, your spelling error or your videos or anything like that. Videos, obviously, you need to re-record it, but spelling error, you can change it, and all you have to do is upload to Office Mix or export it, and everything else should be fine. It's just changing the error. So you can come back and forth to it if you want. So it's not like once I export to video, that's it. I can't do anything about it. You can actually go back to your PowerPoint and decide what you want to change. Okay? Just to show you from my progressions of Office Mix really quickly. So if I go to my Office Mix, so basically my mixes, that's you uploading to Mix, right? So that is the same button as I show you guys where I upload to my Office Mix. And you can see I made a lot of videos, and I just thought I'll show you guys one. And I thought it was, for me, this is redefinition, because this is the part I'm really interested in, and I redefine my teaching a bit. And this is what I did with my 11 SIE. So what I did is I incorporated sports and education. Yeah, so they're the very sport-oriented students, and me and Sue Duffel, another teacher, we decided to change one of the biology assessment to more like respirations. So they had to wear a heart rate monitor to measure their respiration depending on the intensity of the exercise. So I thought, instead of telling them what to do, why don't I show them what to do? So luckily I had a membership with Jet, and then I recorded myself.
Have you ever wondered why we breathe heavier and harder during exercise? Today I'm going to talk about the scientific concept of respiration.
So this is all done in Office Mix. I recorded myself. I don't know if you can see it, but there's actually someone standing behind me doing another treadmill, and he looks at me like as I was like weird, recording myself running. And then so obviously again I included my face, and this is the video I showed to Steve Martin, and he's like, "Is it Winnie the Pooh behind you, like the badge?" And I'm like, "No, it's not." And then you obviously can go through the slides. And the good thing about uploading to Office Mix is that you can actually click on the table of content and select which slide you want to go to. For YouTube, yeah. So yeah. Okay, we'll go slide. But for the YouTube one, they have to basically just scroll on about that bar. But this one, Office Mix, basically it will create the slides based on the PowerPoint slides you've set up, right? Before I go to slide 7, I had the personal trainer Franco Carlos, and I thought it's good to interview him about what cardiovascular or cardio exercises. And then so I did a little interview with them, and just go to what Janice's slides talk about. And this is not really part of the Office Mix. This was done through video editing called Final Cut Pro on my Mac. But I added onto my Office Mix, so I'll just show you guys what I did.
I was using a treadmill. As you can see, I was connected to the Bluetooth heart rate monitor, and you can see my heart rate through my mobile phone. As I continued,
so I didn't run it fast. I speed it up. I had 2 cameras. I had the GoPro facing my face, and I had my iPhone, I think another phone facing on my thing. But come on, the concept is look at my heart rate, it's going up. Okay, so that was the concept I was trying to show my kid.
Just a reminder, aerobic respiration.
And you think this is funny? Just wait for the next
anaerobic respiration.
Exercise. So I did 3 exercises. I did running, biking, and rowing.
Now, day 2 of my cardio training.
So this is rowing. I don't really show the whole. This is biking.
My heart rate started around the 100 beats per minute mark, and I finished my exercise with the heart rate.
Might just increase a bit to save the time.
Here to the biking. The biking exercise was definitely easier, and I didn't sweat as much in the biking training here to the treadmill exercise.
And this is the golden bit.
Last one but not least, day 3 I was using the roll.
This is the bit where all my kids like it. They're like, "You're so cool, you're like so fun." I'm like, no,
it was likely that there was a good contact between the Bluetooth heart rate monitor and my chest. Nevertheless, my heart rate.
So this is what you can do with Office Mix. This is a bit of a twinkling, like tweaking the use of it. For me, definitely this is more of a redefinition because I didn't just stick to Office Mix. That's my very first video of getting into video editing. Like, how do you edit stuff? Like, it took me, I think, 2 days to figure out how to have another screen of that on top of that. Because like, I always seen it on YouTube, and I'm just like, how do these people do it? And then turns out you have to have a different apps, and that's something Office Mix cannot offer. But in terms of actually reading the slides and annotation and things like that, that is something that Office Mix can do. So yeah, that's just a little demonstration of Office Mix. On the PowerPoint, I gave you guys all my Office Mix I've created so far. I'll show you guys the setup of my newest Office Mix if I can. I'll show you. Yeah, just hold on. So if I go to YouTube, this is what I did for my my lab. But basically, there we go. So that's DCL1. And what I decided to do is that instead of putting so much words into PowerPoint, I'll have an actual space for my head. So you see the previous video is just on the top right hand corner, but this one, if we have a look, I actually have a proper place for my head, and then I have my tool here, and then I can do my annotations through here. So this is, I guess, sort of an improvement of my Office Mix. You start to think about how to incorporate your videos or your audios with your PowerPoint slide. It's no longer a PowerPoint slide, it's actually your creations of how to make interactive videos for your students. Another one you guys want to think of, this idea I thought of end of last year, was that, have you guys watched Dora the Explorer? Yeah, I got this from Dora the Explorer because just early in the morning I saw it. You know how Dora always go like, where's the banana? Or something like that, and then you have to wait for a while, and then it goes, it's there, and then like, I guess it's for kids to react. This is what you can do with Office Mix. For one slide, you can say, guys, here are the questions for acids and bases. I want you to complete the equations, okay? Pause the video and complete it. And once you press play again on the next slide, you go through the questions with them. So the kids can actually go through the question themselves, and when they press play or they go through the next slide, you'll be talking about each of those questions with them. And then that's one way for them to learn as well. Yes?
Do you know about Play Posit?
No, what is it?
So Play Posit, you can drop a cool bowls onto YouTube videos.
Oh.
It stops the video, and then they can answer the questions.
Oh.
And you can, if you channel it through something else, or perhaps Edmodo or something like that,
Yeah.
you can see their live where they're up to.
Oh, really?
Whether they're getting it right or wrong.
Okay.
And then it will keep going again. And you can, I was just having a look at the Play Posit site, and
Yeah.
there's
Play.
loads of them.
So it's
already
called
out
Play
there,
Posit.
But you can modify them or you can do your own. It's just called Play Posit.
Okay, I'll write it down.
I only just learned about it, so I'm not an expert or anything.
Oh, that's good, that's good. That's
But
more
it
than
looks
better.
fantastic for exactly this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So it actually automatically stops the video at a certain point when you drop one of these bowls,
Great.
make the questions, and
Great.
you just do it through your YouTube channel.
Oh, that's okay. I'll write it down later on. But that sounds good. But yeah, that's good. I mean, the more you understand about ICT tools, the better, just in terms of what you can use. But that sounds great because that's something I'm looking into for my videos. But apart from that, that's pretty much an Office Mix. Any technical questions before we move on? Because we don't have much time left, do we?
10 minutes.
Okay, cool. I'll just quickly jump through it. All right. Sorry, I
quick question.
Yes. Hi.
With things like this,
Yeah.
it takes you how long do you think to get proficient?
Oh, hold on. Sorry. The first time or now?
Yeah, when say the Play Posit, for instance, this Play Posit thing, if I pick that up and have a play with it, you know what?
I think Play Posit probably be quite easy, quite intuitive. Office Mix, it's easy to create the video. It's hard to make it nice. I think that's the thing to call it. That very first video I show you with all the recording, I try to make it more complicated, and I guess it's my fault to make it complicated because I was doing recording of myself and things like that, so I actually have to do that. That whole video took 2 weeks. Yeah, but then because now I know how to edit stuff and now I know how my GoPro works and things like that, the quickest I can take is probably if I do all the video recording in a day, I can finish the editing in Office Mix in the afternoon. But that is, you know, if I work constantly to it. But the first time I did it, yeah, like I said, this whole office mixing took me like a year to figure out like the pros and cons of it, like what's the limitation and what can I do with it. But yeah, it's again, like I said, this is something that you need to invest time into. It's not like Kahoot or Click, as I was going to show, that you can just work on straight away. But I find it quite rewarding. I'll just quickly show you guys, and the reason why I find it rewarding. So those are the links that I have made so far. I didn't make a lot because it's close to the interview. I was doing more focus on the marketing, but I'm going to start my whole video work, video journey again in terms of editing and Office Mix. I actually made one for Year 11 conversion of energy. So I actually filmed myself doing squash. So I actually reduced my hitting the squash ball and see how the ball compressed, because a lot of my kids last year did not understand what's elastic energy. They don't understand that the ball actually compresses and releases energy. And so that's my videos that I'll do really soon on it. But in terms of, so insert GIF, I'll talk about that. Why is it useful for me as a teacher? I think a lot of people think it takes so much time. For me, I enjoy video editing. Like, it's probably one of my new passion now. It is a joy of completing a video. The first video I finished completing, I think it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was just like, yeah! But then you get feedbacks from teachers and students. I show the teachers go, great. Steve says, your voices sound too feminine. I went to buy a new microphone. Students, go on Amazon, click buy. Students, they say the videos are too long. They sometimes it's way too long. Like 6 minutes even for them. They thought that one was okay, but I later on show like I have an 8-minute or 9-minute video about photosynthesis. I talk about like independent light phase, and that students say that's too long. So it gives me feedback, and actually it's really good. And it actually helped me reflect on my learning, so on my understanding, and understand how I present my stuff. Because normally if I do lecturing based, at the end of the lesson I just go, great, I taught it everything about mitosis, I'm so happy. But now with the videos, I can actually get some feedback from them, and they say, look, your video is nice, but it's too long. And then I have to think about, as a teacher, how do I try to minimize the length of the video, but still giving it enough information to understand about mitosis. So that was really good feedback for me from last year. And then also this, sort of pushed me towards what should I do next? What topic should I do? And it goes back, it's a circle, it's a really good circle, it's a really good loop. And I should say it's reflections, delivery, and the pursuits of innovations of what I want to do. In terms of feedback, students were pretty happy. I like how you use diagrams and videos of your face explaining everything. Great layout of content. I like how easy it was to understand because you didn't talk too fast. It was very descriptive. It was very descriptive, informative, and somebody say your video is so kawaii. Kawaii means cute in Japanese. It must be some student, I don't know. But those are some of the feedbacks I got from the students I wrote down. And also beautiful face. Yeah, that's good. Because we don't have much time, is there anything you guys would like me to go through before the end of the lesson? Because I wrote down quite a few. I have OneNote, Education Perfect, and Augmented Reality. Which one would you guys like to just? The last one, Augmented Reality? Cool, so I'll just show you guys that really quickly. I'm just going to skip all these slides. All the slides are available on Schoology, so you guys can go have a look. So Augmented Reality, there's difference. You guys know what the difference between VR and AR? Virtual and augmented. So augmented reality is that you see the real world and you see the actual imaging at the same time. And the VR means you're virtually inside a world that's purely graphical design or simulations, okay? Now, AR enhances learning by providing interactive virtual environments. There are a couple apps you can download. Quiver is one, so it's a 3D coloring app for developing skills and knowledge on the various topics. Anatomy 4D, Element 4Ds. Anatomy 4D, you can see the inside of human bodies and the hearts. Element 4D, you see the you see the transformations of elements. And there's also one called Arisma, which I'm not going to go into because that's quite complicated. But these apps are available on Play Stores and App Stores. So if your kids, as long as they have Google, Android phone, or iPhone, they can do so. I'm going to quickly show you guys the ones I thought was really interesting. And you guys can take it home if you want. So these are called Element 4D. So these are the cubes that I made. You can make them if you guys want to grab them. So they come in like, Janice, if you want to, yeah, thank you. If you want to just, you cut them out and you make them, and this is what you do. So I'll show you guys on my phone. how it works. So you guys can all see my phone's up there. And if I go to Element 4D, so this is the app I download, I just click on it. And this is the one I thought is quite useful because I actually use this with my students. The other ones I found a bit more gimmicky, but some people might think it's quite useful as well. So, for examples, I have a cube here, and I go Start 4D, and you can see my camera here, and I have my cube, and if I place a cube in front of it, it will load up, and it will show you sodium. So as you guys can see, you can turn around as a kid, you can turn around, so inside here is sodium. So if I take it away, and I flick it to potassium, it will load up. Sometimes it might take a while because this requires a connection to the internet. Okay, so it might load a bit, and then you can see there's potassium. It even tells you like a bit about like the electron structures and things like that. So you can do that. Now, the cool thing about this is if you have multiple cubes, you can have sodium and chlorine. You place them next to each other, and then it will tell you to form sodium chloride, and then it will show you what the salt looks like. So that is something that you can use with your kids in terms of elements. If they don't understand what is ionic compounds or how to make salt, you can tell them to try bits and pieces. Each of these cubes has different sizes and different elements. I put the PDF online and you can use it. The other one I might just quickly show, I thought it was really cool, is called Quiver. So if Janice wants to, thank you. Janice?
Oh, volcanic eruptions.
Yeah. So this is really cool. I tried it last night. So Quiver, if I load up Quiver, and it says formerly color AR mix. Now, you can first of all get your kids to color it in first. And once they color it in first, yeah, I'll just show this as a demonstration, sorry. And then you place it in front of your camera, your whole color volcano will just pop up, and then you can see how it works, okay? So, just gonna wait for it to load. Again, it depends on the process of the phone. If the phone is not very fast, it might take a while to load, but if your kids all have like say iPhones or anything like that should load quite up. So all you have to do is you can print color and play. I'm going to click the butterfly icon, and it will load this up. And you guys just take a look. It will load. And hopefully it loads up. There we go. So you see that's my volcano. It's white because I didn't do any coloring, okay? Now, I can make it colorful. So this is a pre-render of volcano. Now, what I want to do is I want to add a bit of heat to it. So you can see the inside of it, and I can add heat to it. And then you will see the explosion. So what you can do is you can get all the kids surrounding with your phone and use the AR if it helps you in terms of your learning, okay? The volcano one might not be so beneficial for me. Maybe for my year 10 I think about it. But there's ones with the cells that you can print out and the kids can understand like the different parts of the cell. So now there are different ones you can download. So if you go to Quiver's website, you can actually see how many educational ones you can download. You can even download like kiwi birds and cookie calls and things like that. So it's quite useful.
Is it mainly science-based?
Huh?
Is it mainly science-based?
No, there's actually different educational things that you can print out. I'm not sure, I can't remember what else is available, but you can just go on the site and have a look. But it's cool. So yeah, the ones I recommend is Element 4D, Quiver, and the other ones you might want to think about if you guys do biology is called, last one, Anatomy 4D. There's two parts to it. You can get the human body or the heart, and this one's a bit more sophisticated. I haven't used any of them with my class because it does go into quite detail. So I mean the heart I might do with my year 9, but when I show you guys, you'll find out it's really complex. Like it's a very complex model that shows up. So if I show this, it will show you a heart, and then what you can do is you can decide which part you want to see. So the aorta, I don't want to see it, and then we'll get rid of the aorta. All right. If I don't want it to be pumping, I can get rid of the cardiac cycle, and it's fixed. But it is a very complicated heart, and I'm not for the I think maybe for the university students might be something quite good for them to do. A human body, for example, So that's it for me. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Just before we go, I just want to thank Sandy. I mean, a third year teacher, and I came thinking, wow, but the energy and the enthusiasm.
Oh,
and
thank you.
I don't think we needed to be motivated for this sort of thing, but we needed to be inspired, and you're certainly very, very inspiring. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.